Hey, what's up, guys? This is Strengths Productions here. Welcome back to another episode for you guys' store today. I know it's been a while since I used my audio, but since I got my microphone fixed, I figured we'd give this a shot. So, what I noticed recently that I have not noticed before, especially on the Chicago racetrack, which is what we are on, is that you can actually start at Madonna right at the end of the subdivision here, which is I believe this is the Aurora, the Chicago subdivision for BNSF. I'm not too sure, but you can actually play all the way out here, and then you can go into the yards from here, or you can play Amtrak like we are and stop at Naperville and ride to Union Station on one of the upper platforms. So we're going to track 20 once we get to Union Station. But we just relieved this crew; they're out of time. And so we're going to go ahead and finish their route and make our stop at Naperville and then to Union Station. We're playing True Rail Simulations P42, and we have the sound upgrades for the Superliner, as well as the brand new Beerliner baggage car. So without further ado, let's begin. We are running a little bit behind, so we'll get some catching up here. I recently went through my computer. I got a new extra hard drive. I was able to put some old files that are worth like 300 to 500 gigabytes worth in there, so I was able to clean up my disk. And so far, when I've been running all my other games at ultra high graphics, they've been running pretty smoothly. So we'll go ahead and give this a shot and see how it works. And we got our little PTC up too to help us out, because God forbid modern railroading, if you don't have it, you're in trouble. Or you can only operate at 49 miles an hour, same as dark territory, even though you have signals, which is stupid. If that's the case, then you should at least treat it as automatic block, except for stop signals, of course, to get track authorities, so you can run at full speed. But nope, 49 miles an hour without PTC, and even though you have signal indication. If you ever get a chance to look at the G-Corps book, look it up. It's there. And by the way, the link will be in the description down below if you want a copy of the G-Corps. It was issued on April 1st of 2020. It is still used. So now, of course, every other railroad, they make their changes to the G-Corps book. So they might be they might be a little bit different from the railroad you used to. Like if you work for UP, you might have a G-Corps, but you might have some different updates in them. Just like I work for BNSF, there are different updates for them. So. Start slowing down to 35 here. So the only thing I don't like about this route is where they put the advanced speed limit signs. They're supposed to be 2 miles in advance per the BNSF rule, but most of the game, I guess, they don't know what 2 miles is, which, you know, is understandable, especially since all of Dovetail is a European-owned and created game. So it does have their little complications when you convert footage from meters and whatever metric system they use for length. I think it's meters. 35. It looks like we are racing in ethanol. A unit train is what we call it. Because the train is built in one unit, so, for these is the pipeline. So it could be ethanol, it could be oil, it could be all kinds of stuff. And it does look like it's hazmat, so I would classify that as a key train. Now, the definition of a key train is a train that has certain dangerous goods, so certain hazmat loads. So most of the time on our paperwork, it'll tell us if we're a key train or not. And if you're in the yard building a train, you can determine that by looking at your hazmat chart that's provided. Soon we'll be able to go to 55. Okay, here we go. Alright, we got approach medium, double bubble. Line these guys. Out its freak out moments, like, oh, what's going on here? Alright, so approach medium, proceed prepared to pass the next signal, not exceeding 40 miles an hour, be prepared to enter diverging route prescribed speed. With approach medium, again, being past next signal, not exceeding 40, so taking our crossover at 40. Thus we shall slow down, because we have a diverging clear. Proceed on diverging route at prescribed speed. They have it restricted. main 2 and a main 5, looks like. Or main 3, I'm sorry. Okay, we should be good. Back up to 55, and then we'll go up to 70. Then we'll be stopping in Naperville. So Naperville should be coming up in about the next few miles or so. I think it's Route 59, then another station than Naperville. I could be wrong though. It's been a hot minute. That's another thing I hate about the Chicago route is just there's so many quiet zones. Now, yes, in real life, all these crossings between Aurora to Chicago, they're all quiet zones, so it doesn't give you much of a chance. And of course, if you got people jumping in front of you because you're not blowing your horn, kind of freaks you out a bit. There's all kinds of incidences. Am I ever saying that right? Incidences, incidents, I guess. Whatever. So many incidents where. There's just people who don't simply hear the gates and all that, and everybody gets hit. So, because trains are not blowing the horn. Now, if we see anything that's going to, anything or anybody that's going to be in the way, of course we're going to sound our horn. But for the most part, they're all quiet zones. Even where I live, it's a quiet zone in Kansas. So, but we have these stupid speakers that. They go off every time the train passes. It's like, well, I don't know what difference that makes because those are just as obnoxious as a regular train horn going off. So none of that makes sense to me. But what do I know? I just follow orders. So here we are coming up with Naperville. So Naperville is right after Route 50. Didn't know to me. Yeah, next up, Chicago. Now, for most rules, we did a thing, which we do many things, but this particular thing is part of a rule, where you stop at a block and then proceed. It's called delay and block. So, what the rule for delay and block is, so if you have a rail fan on the East Coast, like on CSX's line, right, and you see a yellow sign at the platforms, like, mainly if you're around Washington D.C. or Baltimore, on the CSX lines, you'll see a yellow sign that says DIB at the stations. The DIB means delay and block, which means once you have come to a complete stop within a block, so a block being between two signals, once you start moving again, you must prepare to stop at the next signal. Because what can happen is your signal could drop on you, and because you're not moving, you don't know what can happen. And once you're stopped, anything can happen. The dispatcher can take the signal back. The signal may have timed out. Pretty much any situation that you can think of. So that delay in the block is a good reminder that once you are stopped, you must prepare to stop at the next signal. Now, clearly we saw our next signal was clear, so I know for a fact that our next signal was favorable than a stop. Favorable means something that you can take and operate on. So when we left Naperville, we had a clear. I clearly saw it. I was able to not stop. Now, let's say you come in at a restricting signal, right? Or anything restricted speed. Anytime you stop at restricted speed, and you come in restricted speed, right? Anytime you stop, right? You must be prepared to stop at the next signal, but you must proceed at restricted speed. The definition of restricted speed is being able to stop within the range of vision, within half the range of vision. So let's say I can only see half a mile, right? Well, I best be ready to stop half of what I can see. So I can see for half a mile, I better be able to stop in a quarter of a mile, if that makes any sense. And of course, your PTC rules come in where PTC is not going to allow you to go more than 15 miles an hour without screaming at you. So, but generally it's 20 miles an hour. So if you can see like a mile and a half down the track, if you have just straight rail you can see for miles, then yeah, you could possibly do like 20 miles an hour. Is it recommended to do that? No, but some people do. Everybody operates differently. As long as they're in compliance, that's all I care about. So another question I see rail fans ask everybody is, why can trains stop at certain red signals? Well, that's a good question. So with the railroad, right, not every signal is going to be a control point signal. The difference between a control point signal, with the control point signal, is that the dispatcher has full control of that signal, so they can issue a stop signal. Now, if you're in automatic block territory or ABS signals, then so if you're in ABS territory, you can actually pass that signal. So the only difference you can tell between a control point and an automatic block signal is in ABS, there's a black number board that tells you your milepost and what track you're on. That's how you can tell that's an ABS signal. So like these would be ABSs, but they don't have those black number boards. That's just how they made the game. So You're funny. So it looks like we got 65 coming up, so we're gonna ease off the throttle a bit and we're gonna coast. And not blind the westbounder. So like this signal right here, it's clear, right? There's no number board, so that tells me that's a control point signal. So there's a stop, or all reds, cannot pass that signal. The only time you can pass a stop signal is if you get authority from the dispatcher. And you'll be able to hear this on the radio. The dispatcher will stop, or will stop and precede you, or flag you. So like if we were to stop right there, that was Downers Grove. I believe that was the signal. Or here, Fairview Avenue, right? This is another control point. And then another way you can tell this is a control point is there's power operated switches, right? Which, again, who controls those? The dispatcher. So the dispatcher has control of the switches, they have control of the signal, especially in that control point. So between that signal which is passed and the opposing signal, which is these westbound signals that you see right here, that is called a control point. So we just passed through control point Fairview. So on the BNSF side, which, because I work there, if we were going through a signal, right, the dispatcher would ask us when we approach the signal, like, all right, what are you looking at, BNSF, blah, 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 and we'd say, all right, we're all red at CP, bless you, CP Egerton, which is one of our signals, right, LPKC near Kansas City. So we'll say, all right, BNSF 6969, all stop at CP Egerton. And the dispatcher will give you authority to pass the signal displaying stop at control point Egerton on, let's say, main 1 and main 1 eastbound. And so forth. So you might as well just keep the bell on the entire route and use crossings and stations and all the sorts. Scattered severe storms possible within the next 24 hours. And we're right in the middle of the zone. Did you get the alert, babe? Scattered severe storms possible within the next 24 hours. good for lightning shots. I can test my lightning detector. It's not the actual lightning detector. It's yeah. I think it's set for like every 30 minutes or something. I can't remember. So I did some research. So that train bridge up ahead, where those tank cars going through, I believe that's Canadian National, if I'm not mistaken, or Illinois Terminal. Here we are at Cicero. Keep my bell on since we're going right by the yard, in case anybody decides to wander through. Which all the cars are on the other tracks, so I think we're good. So Cicero is one of many big intermodal places in Chicago, especially within the BNSF system. We have that. We have Willow Springs. We have Corworth, and then here in Cicero. I see the trains right next to us. So warn people as we're going by. There might be cargo working. There might be a conductor. Who knows? We shouldn't have any more crossings, so we should be straight shot all the way to Chicago. We got 7 miles to go, and reducing the mileage. And then I believe this bridge is CSX. Chicago's so big. Every time I've gone to Chicago, it just amazes me that Chicago's the #1 railroad city in all of North America. Just by how many trains go through here, and different companies that you see, like pretty much every single Class 1 railroad, including that same CPKC, which, since KC has merged with CP and CP comes to Chicago, it's very clear that Chicago is one of the leading cities of railroading in all of North America. With, again, every railroad coming through, and you got a bunch of short lines, a bunch of terminal operations, interchanges. You got a lot of stuff. So when we get some of our trains, if they're going to another railroad, you'll notice that the actual railroad will be part of the train symbol. So, for example, like G, S, J, O, and S, I, loaded grain train from St. Joe, Missouri to the NS interchange. And that could be anywhere in the system as long as we interchange with the NS. Or like, GDN to, X, GDN, CSX. Right, I know for a fact that train is going to interchange at some point with CSX, and that GND is from Gardner, Kansas. Okay, so I think that was an approach medium, but in real life, you would take the signal as the most restricted aspect, which in that case, it was at a control point, so the most restrictive aspect would be a stop. So you stop your train, talk to your dispatcher, say, hey, at so signal, it was dark. And then they'll give you instructions. So here we're going to reduce down to 60, so we'll go in idle. And that in fact was an approach medium, because here's our approach signal. Proceed prepared to stop. The next signal trains see 30 miles an hour. Immediately reduce that speed. Note, PTC enforced trains are 40 miles per hour, so we are PTC enforced, so we'll reduce down to 40 and be looking out for that stop signal. It looks like we have a restricting, so we will reduce our speed to restricting speed. So, we might be following somebody. Oh, and we have an approach. Approach medium, okay. Double bubble. So we definitely are following somebody. It's the early peaks of rush hour. That's railroad smell, darling. Alright, there's our advance warning to 40. Which we'll be doing 40 anyways. And there's our diverging clear. Facebook.
Yeah, Luke said so Eli posted old school.
I'll look at it in a minute.
Sorry.
You're good.
I didn't know who could hear me.
I thought that was restricting our signal. I was like, how do we go from divergent clear to restricted? Alright, there's our clear. We'll be reducing down to 25. Approach medium, flasher. Still same rule applies. Proceed prepared to pass the exit on exceeding 40. And be prepared to enter divergent route prescribed speed. Since we are flashing, that's telling me that we have an approach signal next. Approach, as predicted. One thing you should learn on the railroad is never assume your signals, because they might change unexpectedly on you. And there's our stop signal. And there's the code bird that we were following. And of course, come as fast as we get up to this red signal, PTC will be screaming at you. Warning, braking 500 feet, 400, 300, because it thinks that you're going to pass the red signal, and if you get too close, don't do anything, it'll actually put you under. I mean, it'll put you in emergency braking, thinking that you're trying to pass the red signal. Now we wait for the Chicago traffic. Links will be in the description down below as well for the True Rail Simulation P42, the Repo Viewliner baggage cars, and the Superliner upgrades. Now, the Superliner upgrades, it's under the Empire Builder P42 Super Pack version 3. So what I use is the True Rail Simulation P42s, and then use the Repo, however you say, Repo baggage cars, and then the Superliners. Let's see who's going in first. I have a feeling we'll go in first, because, you know, Amtrak rules, why not? Amtrak always gets priority. But let's see if we do. Look at that, diverging clear. Gonna turn on marker lights. Coming in. So in the Chicago terminal area, they use different signal aspects. It's called CORA, Chicago Operating Rules Association, I believe is what it's called. So to us, for BNSF, that's an approach medium, but for CORA, it might be something different. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can look it up. Don't believe that's our signal. That should be ours. Yeah, that's not ours. There we go. That yellow that we had was an approach slow. Proceed approach the next signal at slow speed. Train C medium speed must reduce to medium speed as soon as the engine passes the approach slow signal. We are now arriving in Union Station, track 20. Of course, the yellows are just regular approaches. Proceed prepare to stop the next signal. Train C medium speed must reduce to the medium speed as soon as the engine passes the approach signal. Medium speed is 30 miles an hour. Slow speed is 15 miles an hour. But because our speed limit through Chicago is 10, it don't matter. We're running about 30 minutes late. That's not too bad. Scheduled arrival in Chicago is 3:30 p.m. Central Time. It's currently 3:57 or 15:57, so not too bad. So we come in nice and easy. Wish our cap signals were working though. For the True Rail P42s, I believe there's no cap signals, so. Or I gotta look through the manual to see if I can activate them. I just gotta figure it out. I know if you play Metro on this route, there's cab signals. And that'll do. And just like that, welcome to Chicago. That'll be it for this route. The Southwest Jeep is complete from LA to Chicago, and the racetrack is also complete. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a little bit of these videos with my storage having issues. I just recently downloaded the new Microsoft Flight Simulator Deluxe Edition, and I had no idea that it was going to be worth 168 gigabytes of awesome content. I was able to play it the other day, and I must say the graphics are absolutely incredible. And I gotta play some more when I get a chance to figure everything out and go from there. But until that time, thank you so much for watching. If you like to see, go ahead and leave a like. If you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And as always, feel free to subscribe. I will always subscribe back. That's a new feature. Thank you so much for watching. This is Strikes Productions. We'll see you later.